jobs where they can serve in executive positions and at the same time grow themselves to one day become entrepreneurs.
Moving on now back to Jackson Baker for a question.
Mr. Hodges, a lot of people think that your joke is wearing pretty thin. Why should anyone take you seriously as someone who could actually govern in Memphis City government?
Well, first thing I would like to address is why did Miss Tammy address me at the door and tell me to get naked, because this was all a costume of political attire. When I wear this daily, I wear it to federal courts, I wear it any place. It is my belief, my religious belief, and I'd like to set the record straight to leave me alone. You don't have to jump on me at every corner. First, I was attacked when I went down to Channel 5 by saying that I was not a viable candidate because I'm not serious. I guess you want me to be serious like Willie Harrington and the gang is in prison right now that you elected. If that's what you want, then what you need to do is elect those kind of people, because I'm not one of them. And I'm tired of people saying you're not serious.
Time.
Well, you know, you can see the static that I receive when I come in here. Now, what could I get done in this city when I go to any city councilman or I go to any meetings, whether it be the commissioners or whether it be the whomever? They all think I'm a joke. But all this junk you just heard from these people about the pyramid, what the hell, you need to feed the homeless, you need to put the homeless in there, and you need to start a kitchen in there, and you need to start teaching the homeless something to do besides being on the streets. Why don't we use this for a community project instead of pro-bass and coming here?
Thank you, Mr. Hodges. That's time. Thank you.
All we've got is a bunch of thieves in office that have stolen us blind. And all these things I've heard from the panel about all this garbage they've done nothing. The county is dead in the stream. I thought I was going to hear I brought industry into the county. You got to fire that administrator in the school board. Now that idiot is passing people that can't even pass. He said put them in the next grade. What is that? That is the next step of our crime wave that's going to hit this country. And in 1978, when I was running for mayor, I said the educational system needs to be revamped. And if you don't have education, you got all these things you're asking.
Mr. Hodges,
you got to educate these people first.
Do you know the current bond rating of the city?
They don't have any. They don't have any rating. Nobody would buy any bonds from the city. I wouldn't buy one.
Thank you, sir.
It was free.
Thank you. Time.
All right, we're going to go right now with a couple of speed. Hodges, what plans do you have to lower crime in our city that the Memphis Police Department has yet to implement?
Well, you can see most of the policemen stand on Beale Street. You got 30 every 30 feet standing on Beale Street to keep people from getting robbed, raped, and killed. What we need to do, we need to issue all the citizens a Uzi, machine guns, or whatever it takes to protect themselves. A friend of mine was filling his car with gas at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Walnut Grove Road day before yesterday, and somebody picked him up in the air and robbed him in daylight and threw him on the floor. Dr. Wills, you may know him. But my point is, crime is run rampant, and because it's run rampant,
thank you, sir. Time.
Is because you don't have
thank
an
you.
educational system.
That's time, sir.
This question is for Mr. Hodges. How specifically does Memphis benefit from your repeated candidacies?
Well, I'm the only one that'll tell the truth, and I'm the only one that makes sense, and I'm the only one that goes out of the box to express myself, right or wrong, because I know I'm right. Now, you didn't ask one question about where the money has been going for 50 years off of Beale Street. There was a big investigation about a month ago, and it went away like a storm because somebody got paid off. Then you had another big investigation, the school board. They threw away $1 million worth of food in the dumpster, but they stole $4 million. What happened to that? Where did the people go when they got... Nobody went to jail. What are we doing here? We let everything go if they're the friends of other people. And if you keep letting all these rats go, they only form a new nest, and they have baby rats. And that's what we got, the mama-papa rats and the baby rats. Now, I can solve this problem because I would get rid of all the rats. I had a poster one time where I exterminated all the rats in the sewer system. And we need to put them in the sewer system, and we need to exterminate.
Thank you, Mr. Hodges. That's time. Let's see if we have it.
Mr. Hodges, Memphis is located in a major seismic zone. What would you do as mayor to prepare our community for a major earthquake?
Well, there's nothing to do to prepare yourself for an earthquake because all the junk that's been built back in the 1800s will collapse just like a book of matches standing straight up. So what you've got to do is you have to have an escape route where they could go out of the city, where they could go by transportation and leave immediately, but we don't even know when it's going to happen. So I say, go to church and say your prayers and quit stealing all this money from the government and having these elaborate lunches at $12,000, $10,000 a year and the council and having
Thank you, sir.
$15,000
Time,
a
sir.
year
Thank
dinner
you.
at the mayor's office.
Thank you.
That's what you need.
All right.
Wendy.
I am at this point supposed to ask a question of Mr. Hodges. Mr. Hodges, what question have you not been asked that you would like to be asked?
Well, I could stay here forever answering questions, but I'll answer them quick and to the point. First, we need to take all these political turds and put them in a toilet and flush them out. We need new people. We need people who are dealing with people in this society that want to help them. We don't need all these lies and propaganda, what we're going to do. They've been going to doing it since I've been in town for 50 years, but nothing is done. Now, if we want a new government, we got to get rid of the old, all of them. And we have to start the new stuff, and we got to find out. You're not going to get a team of bloodhounds and Einstein to find out where all the money's been going in this city and who's extorting it and who's stealing it. Nobody else can find it, so don't think you're going to get in there with auditors and find out. And as far as a bond is concerned, I'd rather buy a bond than a rock. I'd rather invest my money with Saddam Hussein if he in the grave. I'd rather go to Iran and do that if you're going to deal with all these things that nobody puts together.
Mr. Hodges, time. Thank you.
All right.
Jonathan, please, next question.
Yes. Ms. Webb, I am curious to know what how you think people living outside of Memphis view Memphis.
Mr. Hodges, what can you do as mayor to help break the cycle of poverty in Memphis?
Well, the first thing you've got to do is create some jobs for these people, like I said. Put them in the pyramid and start educating them and give them food and give them a place to stay and nurture them back to reality, being a person that would be productive. You're never going to create a complete harmony with homeless and indigent people unless you educate them. Everybody stops to remind themselves that education is the cause of all of our problems. And if you don't get an educational system going,
Thank you, sir.
You're never going to have anything here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lowry, will you work to make sure that...
This next question is for Mr. Hodges. Mr. Hodges, what will you do to adequately staff and fund the Memphis Public Library? 30 seconds.
What will I do to the what public library?
To adequately staff and fund the Memphis Public Library.
Oh, they need to put comic books in there. Because it looks like the mentality of the young people now, all they want to do is look at comic books and video games. And then I would start getting them educated and build a whole new library and a whole new system for the people so that they could have a better place. And it needs to be built at the penal farm, not where you get robbed when you go into that library on Poplar.
Thank you, Mr. Hodges.